Hey guys, it's your boy, it's your man's crying idiot here. Homeless dude, failed artist, whatever. Sorry, I'm kind of a mess right now, but I just had one of those divine. I don't know what you would call it's just one of those days and moments where everything lines up to, show you're on the right path. I guess little signs that I believe the creator or whatever rules over this existence does. Sometimes when I over caffeinate, I have that problem too. I don't know, man. Today was just a day. I went back to the donation facility to get a $30 bonus, which I was really counting on. I got deferred again, at least till Friday, so that means all my money income, all my resources were gone today. Had a simple plan, just over this light, inconspicuous bruise. And, I've been asking for help a lot lately from some good people, and I feel like a burden to people. And I felt like that today because I'm like, I've been here 2 weeks. I should have already gotten a job. I should have already gotten shit in order. But I've been kind of focusing on my art and the environment and everything around me, mentally kind of getting rid of the scars of Gastonia and just the shit that happened there. Just the horror show that Gastonia was and dealing with everything that I went through. And today, just some really good fucking people, sent me help, even though I don't deserve it, and I never done anything to deserve it, and I don't feel like I've done enough to deserve it, but that's life, man. People, I've learned to accept the fact that people see things in me I don't see in myself. I'm better at it, but I'm not completely there. Obviously, today, some things just hit. Like now, for example, that goddamn siren popping off right when I'm doing this, that's an example of the devil's work. Evil trying to interrupt my path. That's the way I feel. Because things just coincidentally happen whenever I get closer to the light or good or enlightenment that are just coincidental. Like little annoying kids will show up, annoying people will show up right on time. The more I've learned to pay attention in my life and just observe what's going on around me constantly and feel intuitively what's happening, I can feel the shadow and the evil start to find me whenever. And you believe what you want to fucking believe, man. I don't give a shit. This is what works for me. This is my belief system, and this is what works for me. This is because I've never been able to define God or creation through a name. I've never been able. The more I tried to define, all that is and ever will be, and creation and existence and everything like that, I couldn't. Nothing worked for me. I choose to leave it open-ended and just accept that there's only two true things in this world: light and darkness, evil and good, or evil and good. You're either here to build the world or destroy the world. That's the way I see it, and maybe that's just me, and seeing myself as a person who I would like to think builds the world. That includes people, that includes things, that includes all that stuff. I just feel that evil finds you. When you're doing good, when you're in line with the good essence of the universe, evil has a way of finding you and doing things. And that's why I was so distraught the day I was leaving Gastonia, because I was convinced that Gastonia was a well of evil for whatever reason. It was. Ever since I've left Gastonia, it feels like a weight has been taken off of my soul and my spirit and my heart. I can't explain it. And I believe that in the world there's well springs of good. I've spoken about this before, where you find a place that no matter where it is, that's kind of like your oasis. Um, a place where you can be at peace, whether it be a graveyard or a park or wherever. You can feel it intuitively when you go there. It's almost like the world gets tuned out around you. It's a veil that kind of you feel like a harmony around you. And that is your wellspring of good. Um, okay, back again. I had to take a short break. Anyways, so a wellspring of good and a wellspring of evil. And when you work through good intention, when you have good, when you get filled with the light or good in your life, like I said, evil has a way of finding you. Shit starts kind of going awry around you through people you don't even know, through people, things you don't even, expect. And all of a sudden, shit starts popping up sometimes. That's what I believe, at least. And going back to the wellspring of good, you can find a place, like I said, that is your harmony, that brings you peace and fills you with light and goodness. Then you could find places that are steeped in evil and bad intention and darkness. And that's what Gastonia was for me. For some reason, I just could not get out of this mental funk until I seen the death of a friend. But anyways, going back to what happened today. So select people have helped me along the way until I could find work. I plan on paying them back. Some of them don't want me to fucking pay them back, but I'm going to pay them back anyways, because that's just the goddamn honorable and right thing to do. And I'm going to pay them back somehow, whether it's money or something else. So it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, I owe them my life and I owe them my success. So that's, if I make it to the top, then that's what it is, which I plan on. I plan on being one of the greatest artists in American history. I plan on making a company that is going to be gigantic. And I know you're all looking at my life now and be like, yeah, right, whatever, dude. But it's going to happen for me. It's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of time. And I know that because of the people who are giving to me, the people who are helping me along the way. They have no fucking reason to. They have absolutely, and for some reason, they're doing this because they see something in me I don't see in myself, my talents or something, I don't know. And I was kind to a couple of people myself when I had the chance, and that's just kind of, I guess, coming back maybe. And I love these people, and these people who are helping me, I really do love them. I mean, I'm not bullshitting about that, because I have met so many garbage human beings in my life, horrible human beings, bad people. And you meet enough bad people, you meet enough horrible people, to where when you really meet those fucking people who mean what they fucking say, it matters. You would defend those people to the death. I mean, period. And I met people who said they loved me, they were my brother, they were whatever, and those are the same goddamn people who threw me out on the streets to die during the beginning of the pandemic. So my perception of love has been skewed over the years because of that. I've had family, blood, who act like I'm a goddamn crackhead or some junkie or something because I went through bad financial circumstances. And let me tell you something. I begged, literally years ago, I begged someone who had a home in my family, who had a home, who had a place at the bottom where they could rent. And I was like, all I need to do is come there. I can find work and I'll help you guys pay bills. And they're always, and this person's always talking about how financially unstable they are, how financially bad off they are. And what was me? Where's the next dollar going to come from? I was like, dude, I can come there. You ain't got to do shit. Just give me a place to stay, shower, and wash my clothes, and I'll get a job, and I can help you and your man do whatever. Oh, well, there's somebody already renting it. Okay. A couple months later, whatever, I find out this was a person who wasn't paying rent, who wasn't helping them out, and kind of used them. Okay, so after that, I'm like, well, I was going to ask again, but then I'm like, why wouldn't you just offer that to me? Why wouldn't you just be like, hey, by the way, you can come stay here? Now, the only thing I can figure is I'm not of God, I'm not of Christ, I'm not of whatever. I don't define it through the biblical text, what the fuck ever, which, half of these Christians I've met in my life are full of fucking shit, man. They're not part of the Bible either. They just put on airs and they just put on a veil and a mask like any good predator does. And I'm going to tell you something else real quick about Christians, but they put on this veil and this mask, especially in the South, the Bible Belt, of philanthropy and all this and all that. But meanwhile, the goddamn world's burning. The fucking world is burning right outside their churches. For example, Gastonia, 700 churches, not one homeless shelter. And the best you would get from these people of Christ was a bologna sandwich and a Bible. If I could build a goddamn house out of a bologna sandwich and Bible, I would fucking be living in a mansion right now, let me tell you. Because that's all the fuck they could do. It took an act of Congress to get them to open up night shelters when the temperatures drop below freezing. And even then, if they don't have the volunteers and it's 10 degrees outside, they won't fucking open. It's goddamn madness. Madness. And these are the people who control your government. The angelic fucking Christian horse shit is skewing your government. They don't pay taxes, and they don't have to be transparent about the donation. They could be making $100,000 a fucking year off of homeless assistance and only giving 10 of that to the homeless and be banking 90 fucking grand a year just off of homeless. I'm convinced now the problem of homelessness in America is intentional because it is a great goddamn moneymaker, and they will never solve homelessness. They will never solve it because it makes too much goddamn money, just like with cancer. They're never going to cure cancer because they make much more money off of you being sick than fucking curing you. If they cured you, you wouldn't have to come back. But if they keep you fucking coming back for treatment, that's it. Keep them alive long enough and keep them fucking, just give them enough to keep them alive so we can make the maximum goddamn money off of them we can. That's the fucking truth. And that's all I see, because think about it. You're telling me homelessness has been going on in America since America began. You're telling me by now, you're telling me that we can't fucking get housing, we can't get tiny homes. You're telling me that we can't even get like fucking shacks for people to live in and help them rebuild their lives. You're telling me this is that fucking complicated. This goes to a further point. The reason why Luigi Mangione is being touted as a hero, and I'm going to remind you, the healthcare thing, that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg, dude. Everything's fucked for poor people in America. Everything is fucked. We're living in an oligarchy. We are living in a fucking failing democracy that is owned by the rich, and they have bought the $100,000 a years and all this shit to make them believe that they're part of the club. No, they're going to be left to be butchered. See, that's the problem. If an uprising happens tomorrow, if poor people go crazy, let's just say, for example, everybody starts dragging people out of their goddamn houses to fucking eat them alive, right? You know who's going to get blamed? Elon Musk and all these, Jeff Bezos and all these cocksucking billionaires, dude, they're going to be so far away from the war and the fire that it ain't going to be funny. You know who the fuck's going to get fucked up? The people in the gated communities, the people in these goddamn 100,000, $2 million homes, these people who think that they're part of the fucking club, they're not. They're the ones who are going to get blamed and hurt. The rich, they already have their bunkers, dude. They already have their bunkers. They're ready for the war. They're ready for the fallout. They're going to hide in their goddamn bunkers. They're going to go to their fucking the fucking mountain over there owned by the government for nuclear attacks. They're going to go in that goddamn mountain. They're going to ride it out. And then after all the pores and everything kill each other and die the fuck off, they're going to come out of the mountain and build the perfect utopia. That's it. That's exactly what the fuck it's going to be, man. I swear to God. And like I said, these people who make $200,000 a year. They gave them just a little bit of, money to make them think that they're better than everybody else. And they're not. They're going to be the ones who pay the price for the fucking idiots at the top that they defend and they give rights to. And they're like, yeah, give them a tax break. You see how that shit worked? It didn't. And those people who were making that little bit of money, they were the ones who funneled the most of the tax burden, while the richest 1% of the country pays no taxes, which doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. I make $30 trillion a year in this fucking country, and I pay less taxes or no taxes compared to a person who makes fucking 80 grand a year. That doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. But that goes to show you the entire government is corrupted. All of our elected officials, for the most part, are bought and paid for. They no longer represent Americans. They no longer represent any Americans except for the ones who fucking own them. Who those people are, what's going on, I don't know. And I talk to people sometimes and I'm like, I've been talking to people lately about certain things, like the drone shit and stuff like this. And what's happening in Israel and Gaza and what's happening over in fucking Korea and just shit going on all over the fucking globe right now that's fucking nuts. And I was telling somebody about it the other day and they're like, I don't watch the news. And I'm like, well, you might want to fucking start. You might want to start checking in on what the fuck's going on, because shit's kind of going sideways quick, man. Real quick. And I don't know what to say about it. And the reason why that's relative to me and why I feel a certain way about it is because years and years ago when I was a young kid, one of the reasons I've dealt with mental illness most of my life, and you're not going to believe this, and I don't want to tell people this, and I really don't want to speak on it because it makes me sound like a fucking lunatic. I had, between 18 and 21, I had several, sporadic times, visions, things that happened just out of nowhere that made me see what's happening now. Like, now, bearing in mind, this was 20-something years ago. This was well before Trump, anybody could even entertain the notion. But I saw Trump getting elected, coming to power, forming a union with Putin, and that basically being the beginning of the ending of the world. I know it sounds fucking nuts, but it happened. And I've been spending, when Trump first got elected, I just, that set my mind on some kind of fucking weird tangent, because I was like, God damn, this can't be true. There's another thing as well that I saw when I was younger, my own death. Like, I know that one day I'm going to be in front of a crowd of people speaking at some event, and somebody's going to blow my fucking brains out. And because the other stuff happened. So this must be, and it was something so prolific to me. Like, it wasn't just like a hallucination or anything. It was something that I was there in that moment, and it only lasted for just a couple seconds, but I was there in that moment. And then I could feel, see, taste everything that was happening around me, leading up to the place to go speak to these people, and then the end. And I saw these other things. And one of them was a very, very, very and that's another reason why I've kind of been obsessed with crows and why I chose the, Japanese crow demon to represent my comic book company, the Tengu Press, because I had a vision then of, I was standing in the home and I walked outside and I looked up in the sky, and the sky was blacked out by trillions and billions and incalculable crows, and beyond the crows, the sky was blood red. And it was, once again, something that I felt like I was there. I was living in that moment. Now, these could have been, manifestations in a mind that was traumatized. I was dealing with a lot. My mother and father were disabled from a very young age, stuff like that. Or it could be real. And all the other things I could throw away. I was like, okay, well, that could obviously be, something that was based off of trauma, right? It was traumatic response mechanisms in my brain. Although it didn't happen all the time, And it happened over a span of years, these various points where it was like, what the fuck is going on? Hence why most of my life I thought I was fucking insane. But the Trump thing, the Trump and the Putin connection, that's what really fucking got me. That's when I was like, this can't be happening. When he first announced he was going to try to run for president back in the day, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. No way in hell this is real, because that's what I saw. And I'm going to leave it at that. And if you guys think I'm a fucking kook or a nut job, okay, whatever. I know what I know. And I saw what I saw. That's all I can tell you. But today, for example, going back to my original point about this kind of intervention, or this sign, as it were, from the creator or the divine, that you're on a path that was, where you're supposed to be. I was just walking down the road, and on the corner, because there's New Year's parties going on, whatever. And on the corner, I'm walking down the road. I kind of got done with everything today, and I'm like, just feeling kind of defeated because of what happened with the donation, and knowing that it's going to be a couple more days and I'm not going to have any money, and I haven't sorted out the job thing yet. So I'm walking down the road, and all of a sudden bagpipes start playing from this fucking parking lot. And I hear it, and then I'm looking up at the sky, and it was cloudy today and windy for a bit. And I'm looking over the Capitol, and there's like two churches on either side of the Capitol, and I'm looking at the church, and then I look over at the other church, and it's just like this beautiful sunrise breaking through, right? And I hear the bagpipes playing. One of my mother's favorite instruments was the bagpipes. That's why I've always been kind of keen on Scott Irish music, stuff like that. And then I see the light breaking through the sun, and the clouds are dissipating. And then I go sit down, and right around that time I look around, and right when I sit down on this corner to take a rest, or this brick in front of this museum area, this disabled person, a woman in a wheelchair, comes going by with her family. And then it's like little birds start flocking to the trees and chirping. My mother loved birds, and I love birds. And I've always felt like that was my mom trying to contact me, when the little birds, or whenever birds would just pop up, they'd come right close to me, like right up on my feet and stuff like that, and have no fear of me. And I always felt like that was because that shit popped up at some of the darkest moments, and it's like I felt like that was her talking to me through the birds. It's crazy, or just sending them to remind me that it's going to be all right. And I just kind of lost it for a bit, man. That's why I was kind of crying at the beginning of this, because I'm like, it hit me. It all hit me at once. And then a friend of mine messaged me. I told them Happy New Year. They messaged me and said, "Are you okay, money-wise?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And they helped me out. Like I said, going from years ago when I was in that toxic relationship, and I lost my mind, and I tried to commit suicide. And something stopping me. I just, it's been so many things that happen that I cannot explain, or I cannot scientifically put together outside of some kind of divine guiding force. And I'm not trying to say I'm some messiah. I'm not trying to say any of that shit. But I'm saying, when I speak, a lot of people listen to me for whatever reason. And when I make points, people seem to listen. And I don't know, it's just always been my gift. And I've always had a way of just sitting, and when I talk with somebody and they start telling me things about themselves that I never asked them, they just automatically feel like offering up that information. And it's always been kind of my gift, as it were. And I can't explain it. And they'll just start confessing things to me and telling me things that I shouldn't know. Nobody should probably know. But for some reason, they just tell me. And it's happened my entire life, and I can't explain it. And, whenever I do get very focused on linguistics and stuff like that, I've always been very gifted at speech because, I think I've told this before, it's kind of a bragging point, but when I was a kid, I scored on my writing test in school, the end of grade test, I scored a perfect 4.0. And those 4.0 papers were registered in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools and would be used on the standardized testing. So to this day, my writing that I did when I was a kid is used in standardized testing, because at some point, because it was a perfect 4.0 score on the test. And I was the only kid in the state to score that, I think, that year. If not one of them. One of a handful of the entire state, which is kind of fucking crazy. And I just never, it was just some of those things that dropped off, man, because the world ate me alive and it, crushed me. And I just got tired of being crushed. I got tired of being, you go and you grow up and then you forget your ambitions, you forget whatever. And everybody, when I was drawing when I was a kid, was like, you're super talented, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And it just seemed like the further along in life I got, the more those doors closed on me. And I was just crushed by it, man. I'm like, damn, people said that I was going to be this and I was going to be. It's kind of like the football player who's like, man, you're going to be in the NFL one day. And then he gets injured and his entire life and identity is just destroyed in an instant. It's like, wow, like, damn, I thought I was going to be a superstar, right? Anyways, I'm going to end this. Sorry, I just had to vent. This may not make any sense. If you like the content, please subscribe. I'm thinking about doing more outspoken political, just commentary about the state of the world, the system, everything like that. Because I see people talking about it, but I don't know if they necessarily have the same perspective as I do. Anyways, I love you guys. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, please share the video. Please do anything you can to support me. My donation links are below if you want to help contribute to the journey till I can find stable employment, get comic book commissions going again, and everything like that. So anyways, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.